All right, Schlockmeister fans, a movie I haven't seen in a very long time. Jekyll and Hyde, ... together again. Let's check it out.
Dr. Jekyll is the finest surgeon we've ever had here at Our Lady of Pain and Suffering. It's only fitting that he should perform the world's first total transplant on you.
Most inhumane.
This is Dr. Jekyll.
We now call surgery.
Dr. Jekyll, what do you intend to replace surgery with?
First total transplant.
This is his future father-in-law.
Transplant.
That's right. Heart, kidneys, lungs, liver, reproductive organs, anything else we can think of. As soon as we gather them up, we're going to stick them in them. And
What are you doing here?
And this is Mary, his fiancée.
I was supposed to have lunch today with a certain handsome, young, successful, brilliant surgeon, but I guess he forgot. I know what you're thinking, Daniel. You're thinking that if you don't make a lot of money, I won't still want to marry.
Results have been discouraged.
So he doesn't want to do the surgery. He wants to concentrate on his experiments.
136 to test animal. No perceivable results are evident. Little guy remains listless and depressed. This is all I've got.
Then he meets this patient named Ivy.
Oh, sure. You give me $10 and I'm supposed to give you head, right?
Head? What's head?
So he's invented this powder, a drug, which looks a lot like cocaine. And when he falls asleep, he accidentally snorts it. Which almost immediately begins to transform into something else. Specifically, a kind of Dr. Swinger.
How am I supposed to get out of here? Like this way?
He chose this club because Ivy said she worked there.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I've been under terrible stress.
She doesn't recognize him as the doctor.
What do you do?
He spends the night with her. The next day he comes down and he's normal again.
What of my beast ancestors have I dissevered? All of it.
So he's not tempted to take it again. He decides he's going to dump it.
So, no, I'll get rid of it. Who needs it?
But he decides to snort some more again.
Oh, I shouldn't have done it!
He's trying to find Ivy, and he's searching for her in a grocery store. And I'll be dog. He found her.
My love,
You shop here?
I'm shopping for you! We're...
After spending the night with her, the next day he goes back to his fiancée and he's a little more aggressive.
Mary, I need you.
You do?
I want my woman now.
Oh, Daniel.
hospital and then come here right under my own roof to deflower my most precious possession.
But sir, I've decided to perform the operation.
You have? Fuck your brains out, kid.
And now he's turning without the drugs. Those boobs belong to Elvira, by the way.
Oh my God, it's happening without the drug. Antidote. I just left the man in surgery. You've got to help me get the drugs. I'm a drug-crazed beast with a giant erection that won't go away no matter how many times I do it. You're a nurse. What can you give me for it?
He ends up in an arcade where he finds Ivy again. He then arrives at a conference where he won an award.
Oh, no, that can't be my Daniel.
And then he sings. then, like Frankenstein's monster, he's chased through the streets by the citizens. Notice the film got black and white.
Know him? This man ravished me day and night. All he thought about was sex, sex, sex. He wasn't satisfied until we orgasmed at least 20 times.
You're kidding.
I wish. I don't know who you are, but this is Dr. Daniel Jekyll, my fiancé. I'm Ivy, and this is my lover.
Our movie ends with them basically agreeing to share him. All right, let's talk about Jekyll and Hyde Together Again. Now, this is a movie that was a kind of a staple of 80s cable back in, well, the 80s. 82, 83, 84, that kind of thing. I never saw the movie back then, though. I saw ads for it, and the trailers were on it quite a bit. Never really saw the movie, though. Maybe I saw little clips here and there. I don't know. But I never really saw this until 1992. It's when I first taped the movie off of cable. That was when I was taping movies on SP speed, one movie per tape. And that's when I watched it for the first time. And I remember I had this book called the Barefax Video Guide, which was basically showing like where nude scenes were in movies. It's kind of like what Mr. Skin does on the internet today. And they mentioned that Cassandra Peterson, who was Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, had a nude scene in this movie, so I was happy to see her nipple. There you go. And I saw it again today. It's been a long time since I've seen her nipple. But anyway, I digress. Jekyll and Hyde Together Again is kind of a takeoff on the Robert Louis Stevenson, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In this case, Dr. Jekyll is a famous surgeon. He wants to concentrate on doing experiments and finding a way to replace surgery with drugs, that sort of thing. He invents this drug. He accidentally snorts it, and then he turns into Mr. Hyde. And this version of Mr. Hyde is like a swinging, single, crazy, rock and roll, drug-taking doctor. And he goes out, he met this woman named Ivy, played by Krista Erickson. You might remember her from the movie Little Darlings. And I think she was on Hello Larry, too, a TV show as well as Facts of Life. But again, I'm digressing. So anyway, he met this woman. She's kind of a rowdy woman, so she works at like a strip club or something. So he goes there, finds her. She's like singing on stage, and then it's like every time he's Mr. Hyde, he's like obsessed with this girl Ivy, even though he's actually engaged to this other woman, Bess Armstrong, who plays Mary, his fiance. So anyway, he vows he's not going to take this drug anymore after he slept with Ivy. Next day he woke up and he was like Dr. Jekyll again. He's like, whoa, I can't do this anymore. But the lure of that drug is too strong, and he takes another hit, and the next thing you know, he turns into Hyde again. Then he's like barking like a dog and running around trying to find Ivy, which he finds in a grocery store, and he starts making out with her there. Eventually, he's supposed to do this like major surgery, this super like transplant on this guy in the hospital. He accidentally exposed Elvira's boob in the operating room. Great costume, Elvira. But then he starts to turn into Hyde without the use of the drug. It's just like taking over him. So he turns into it again. He's trying to find an antidote. Next thing you know, he's being chased through the streets like Frankenstein's monster. And they end up shooting him, but then he's not dead. And then Ivy and Mary are both there, and they're like fighting over him. And he's saying, this is my fiance. This is my lover. You know, he wakes up and he's fine. And they're basically in the movie with the two little girls dragging him off. And they're basically talking, okay, I'll have him at night. You can have him in the day. They're basically competing over him and figuring out how they're going to share him for the rest of their lives. And that's our film. So anyway, Jekyll and Hyde Together Again. Who put this out on Blu-ray? Olive Films did. It's a pretty good looking copy too. It looks pretty good. I think there was a few extras on it, not a whole lot, but anyway, the movie itself, it's filled with slapstick and silliness. Reminded me a little bit of like Dr. Detroit in that sort of way. The way the doctor was kind of made up, kind of goofy and silly. The same thing here. It was an okay film. It's more of a relic of the 80s, I think, and I think had I seen it a lot back then, I'd probably be a little more fond of it because it would have nostalgic value for me. And as a kid back then, I probably would have found it a lot more humorous than I do now. But again, it's okay. Nothing horrible about it. It's just a strange little film from the 80s, kind of forgotten. But here we go. Anyway, that's it. Like I said, available on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's available on DVD. But if whatever, I'll leave a link to something down below. You can grab it yourself on Amazon if you want. It's got Elvira's boob in it. There you go. Can't go wrong with that. If you want to look at her boobs again, you can look at a movie called Working Girls from the early 70s. Track that one down. I think that and this one are the only ones where we see them. Anyway, check it out. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about Jekyll and Hyde. Together again. Watch it. Bye.